Good afternoon. How many of you are aware that nurses across America do not have required specific dementia training in the acute care setting? My name is Justino Costantino, and I am here today to explain to you the importance of nurses having specific dementia training in the acute care facilities. Before we get started, there are a few things to understand and to take into consideration. One of them being that dementia patients are extremely common throughout all healthcare facilities, not just in long-term care. With them being so common, nurses are undereducated in the healthcare field when it comes to dementia. Today, I will be presenting you with a simple solution to this deficit in the healthcare field, and hopefully you will see why this solution is so beneficial. Now let's begin to talk about the commonality of dementia patients. Currently in America, there are 3.2 million hospital stays a year that involve a patient that has dementia. There are about 14 different types of dementia, with Alzheimer's being the number one cause of dementia. Today I brought this visual aid that shows, it's from alzheimersassociation.org, and this shows specifically for Alzheimer's. It says, it's a little poster put together, and it actually says, Alzheimer's is the sixth leading cause of death in America. More than 5 million Americans a year are living with Alzheimer's, and 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia every year. These are just a couple facts and figures to show how common dementia really is. These numbers won't continue to decrease. They are going to only increase from here. And one of the most important things is to understand that dementia patients aren't just seen in long-term care facilities, but rather in acute care facilities in all realms of healthcare. With dementia patients being so common, nurses are undereducated when it comes to dementia training. Currently, there are 8 acute care facilities in America that require some specific dementia training for acute care nurses. So out of all the acute care facilities that we have by acute care, let me explain that I mean hospitals. So out of all the hospitals we have in America, there's only 8 that require some specific dementia training, okay? In the state of Delaware, there's no specific dementia training for acute care nurses. Some of the biggest deficits that can be crucial in nursing, that nurses aren't as well educated as they should be, are dementia versus delirium. So dementia is a chronic illness. It's going to be over a long amount of time, and delirium is a quick onset of confusion. If a nurse can't pick up on this, that does not boast well to take care of the patient the proper way, let me say it like that. Another one is eating difficulties. So dementia patients typically have big trouble with eating. So if a nurse were to hand somebody a patient a meal tray, and they had trouble eating, and they were to walk off and that patient chokes, it's because that nurse wasn't educated enough to understand that dementia patients sometimes need to be assessed to see if they need help eating. The biggest goal with this is we need to get all nurses on board. That takes me into talking about the solution that I had thought of. So Alzheimer's Association of America actually has on their website a program set up for acute care facilities to present to their healthcare workers, nurses specifically, that teaches nurses about dementia, how to take care of the dementia patient, literally the A to Z of dementia and taking care of somebody that has dementia. My whole idea would be for this to be presented by a nurse educator in orientation when a nurse begins to work for a hospital. If you had already been working for the hospital, then you would have to go down at some point to have this presented to you as well. And then at least everyone now has the same baseline education pertaining to dementia. Some of the main things that this would help with is continuing education for nurses. So once they begin to learn, a lot of nurses are going to continue their education from there, but at least they now have that baseline education. This program teaches holistic care, which holistic care is huge because everyone in healthcare in a healthcare facility tries to work around holistic care, meaning that not only are we looking at dementia, but we're looking at the whole process of somebody coming into the hospital. So they might have 3 other diseases going on within their body, and we're looking at how those might be affecting their dementia as well. And this program teaches the nurses to focus on that, so that way you're not just focusing on one thing when they come into the hospital. The benefits to my solution. So one of the biggest benefits that I consider is that with these nurses being educated properly, they're now going to be able to educate family the proper way. And that's huge because these patients are typically taken care of by their family at home. And so when they're taken care of properly at the hospital, now this can continue when the patient goes home to be taken care of by their family the proper way as well. Now nurses will begin to have the correct fundamentals to take care of a patient in the acute care facility, and it's going to bring more confidence to a nurse because they're going to have the correct tools to take care of a dementia patient the correct way. In conclusion, after hearing how common dementia patients are in healthcare and recognizing that education for nurses pertaining to dementia is not adequate, it is important to notice that a solution is needed. Whether it is the solution I have thought of personally or someone else's solution, it is crucial for all nurses to receive specific dementia training in America, in acute care facilities. I hope you come away from my presentation today understanding that dementia training for acute care nurses isn't sufficient and we need a change. Thank you for your time and have a good day.